Factoring trinomials. We're going to look at how to factor trinomials where the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. So if you haven't already watched part 1, make sure you do that because we're just going to continue with our factoring techniques here. Okay, so we're going to look at factoring using the AC or grouping method. There's lots of different names for this method. So you may know it just by another name. So if you consider, I'm just going to give it an example of a generic quadratic trinomial, ax squared plus bx plus c, and a is different from 1. What you need to do is find two numbers whose product equals a times c and whose sum is equal to b. And then once you identify those two numbers, you're going to split the middle term using them. So sometimes this is also called the method of splitting the middle term, and then factoring by grouping. Okay, so we're just going to dive right in and look at some examples that you may run into. So example, and the directions will say factor completely. Example A, we're going to factor 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. All right, so let's first identify what A, B, and C are. So A is equal to 3, B is equal to -4, and C is equal to 1. So I need to find two numbers that multiply to A times C. Well, AC is equal to 3, and that add up to B. B is -4. So can you think of two numbers that multiply to 3 and add up to -4? Well, it's going to be -3 and -1. And sometimes people organize the information in a little X or some other device. So A times C, you can list up top here. That's equal to 3. B goes at the bottom. That's -4. And the two numbers are -3 and -1. All right? Now, unlike when we factored before in part 1, when the leading coefficient was 1, we're not ready to just jump to writing everything in factored form. I'm going to use these numbers here that I've circled, -3 and -1, to rewrite or split this middle term here, this -4x. So watch what's going to happen. I'm going to rewrite my problem as 3x squared minus 3x minus a 1x plus 1. And notice this is equivalent to what we started with, right? -3x and -x, if I combined my like terms, I'd get back to the original. But the reason why we split this middle term is now I have 4 terms. 4 terms is the goal. Well, why is that good? You might think, oh no, it looks messier than what we started with. Well, typically when we have 4 terms, we can factor by grouping, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. So when you factor by grouping, you pull out the GCF, or the greatest common factor, from just 2 terms at a time. So if I take out the greatest common factor from 3x squared and -3x, that's going to be a 3x. And then I'm left with x minus 1. And then notice here, the greatest common factor for this -x and 1 is really just a 1. But I'm going to take out a -1 since there was a minus sign in front of that x. So whatever the sign is right there, you have to bring it down. So I'm going to take out a -1. And then now the other factor is going to be an x minus 1. Notice that plus 1 switches to a -1 since I factored out a negative. Beautiful. Now you know you're doing things right because this factor here should match. If it doesn't, then you did something wrong. So that's a good way to check. Now I can factor out the x minus 1, and I'm just left with 3x minus 1. So this is just standard factoring by grouping, but now we've completely factored our original problem. Again, you could check by multiplying this out. Another alternative is just trial and error or guess and check. So if you wanted, you could use guess and check. And so you know you're starting with 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. You could set up your factors and say, well, 3x squared, I mean, the only way to get that is with a 3x and an x, right? And the only way to multiply out to 1 is 1 and 1. And then you check, since it's a positive 1 and a negative 4x, then both of these needed to be negative. And then from there, we're done, right? We got the exact same thing a lot quicker. The reason why we don't only use guess and check is because sometimes it's really difficult to come up with what works, but if you feel comfortable, go for it. Honestly, it's faster. That's what I use most of the time. All right, moving on, another example. Example B, we have 6p squared plus 19p plus 10. Now we could use guess and check here, but you see how 6 has a lot of options. 6p squared, it could be 1 and 6, or 2 and 3, and 10 also could be 2 and 5, or 10 and 1, so maybe you don't want to deal with playing around with things, so we'll use the AC method. So remember, A is equal to 6, B is equal to 19, and C is equal to 10. So we're going to organize our information. Can you think of two numbers that multiply out to AC? So A times C is 6 times 10, that's 60, that add up to B. B is 19. So maybe you need to list out the factors of 60. So the factors of 60 are 1 and 60, 2 and 30. Nope, none of that's giving me 19. 3 and 10. No. 4 and 15. Ooh, there we go. So 4 and 15 is going to be the winning combo. So 4 and 15. Okay. Now we're not ready to write it in factored form just yet. Remember, I'm going to use those two numbers to split the middle term. So we'll have 6p squared plus, now you might be wondering, do I have to put the 4 first or the 15 first? Guess what? Good news, it doesn't matter. Plus 4p plus 15p plus 10. As long as you pick the correct two numbers, it will still factor every single time. So one less thing to worry about. Now let's factor by grouping. So I'm going to take out the GCF, greatest common factor, for 6p squared and 4p. So I can take out a 2 and a p. That's it. So if I take out 2p, I'm going to be left with 3p plus 2. And then since this is addition, I'm going to bring down a plus sign. And then what can I take out of 15p and 10? I can take out a 5. So if I take out a 5, I'm left with 3p plus 2. Now check if those factors match. 3p plus 2, 3p plus 2, they sure do. So I know I'm on the right track. Remember, if they don't match for some reason, go back, something went wrong. So let's take out 3p plus 2, and then I'm left with 2p plus 5. And now everything's completely factored. All right. Good. If you were to try to guess and check, I'll just kind of talk you through what goes through my mind when I do it. So we have 6p squared plus 19p plus 10. So for 6p squared, it could either be 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. Typically, when you're just guessing, guess the two numbers that are closer together. So I'm going to guess 2 and 3. So 2p and 3p. And then again for 10, the factors could be 1 and 10 or 2 and 5. But I'm going to guess the two that are closer together. So 2 and 5. The problem is I don't know if the 2 goes in the first factor or the 5 does. So you just guess, meaning you put them somewhere and then you check, does this work? So obviously that's going to give me 6p squared. This outer product is going to give me a 10p, and this gives me a 6p. So that's 16p, which is not what we need. We need 19p, so that does not work. So probably I need to switch where these two go. So we'll have 2p plus 5 and 3p plus 2. And then now when you check, there's your 4p, there's your 15p, and then that gives me 19p, so that's the winning combo, okay? So, you know, you live a little more dangerously when you do it this way, but it can be a lot faster. And then when you get comfortable just foiling and checking in your head, you don't even need to write down half of what I did. So it can be a time saver. All right. Next two examples, we won't show guess and check though. If you want to delve into that, be my guest. Example C, we have 5x squared minus 12x minus 9. All right, so we need to figure out what two numbers will give us a times c and add up to b. I like to put AC at the top because isn't the air conditioning always upstairs and B, the basement is downstairs? So A times C, be careful this time because we have 5 times -9, so it's -45, and B is -12. So what two numbers add up to -12 and multiply to -45? So we can list out the factors here. So we're going to have 1 and 45. 2 doesn't go into 45. 3 does. 3 and 15 does. Ooh, we're done. So I'm going to use a +3 and a -15. The larger one needs to be negative so that we end up with a -12. Okay, now we're going to split the middle term using those two numbers. So we have here 5x squared plus 3x minus 15x minus 9. Beautiful. Now let's factor by grouping. So the greatest common factor, or GCF, for 5x squared and 3x is just an x. So I'm left with 5x plus 3. And then on this one, be careful, bring down that negative. And then the GCF for 15x and 9 is just 3. So I'm going to take out a -3. Now I'm going to be left with 5x, and be careful, plus 3. So that -9 needs to switch to a +3 when I factor out -3. Watch out for that. Okay, watch out. Now, if you forgot, you should catch that you messed up, because if you left a minus sign there, then it wouldn't match up with the first factor. So that's a good way to check yourself. And then last step, I'm going to take out that 5x plus 3 since that's the common factor, and then we're left with x minus 3. All right, good work. Last one, example D, we have here 2x to the 4th minus 4x to the 5th plus 30x cubed. Okay, well, first things first, I notice this is not written in descending powers, so let's do that. So I'm going to put -4x to the 5th first, plus 2x to the 4th, and then plus 30x cubed. All right, I'm still not feeling good. I mean, I'm not used to all these higher powers of x, but remember, we still haven't factored out the greatest common factor. I can take out x to the 3rd, and also I can take out a -2. Why am I saying -2? Because the leading coefficient here is negative, and anytime that happens, you want to take out the negative with it. So factoring out a -2x cubed, I'm going to be left with a +2x squared minus x minus, that's right, 15. Beautiful. So now you're just going to keep this -2x cubed out here the whole time, and then just focus on factoring now this trinomial inside the parentheses. Okay, so a is equal to 2, b is equal to -1, and c is equal to -15. So let's see. A times c is equal to 2 times -15, so that's -30, and b is -1. Can you think of two numbers that multiply to -30 and add up to -1? Well, there's 1 and 30, 2 and 15, nope. 3 and 10, nope. 4 doesn't go into 30, 5 and 6, ding, ding, ding. Okay, so we're going to use a +5 and a -6 because we want to end up with -1. All right, so now don't forget to keep writing the -2x cubed every step of the way. It might be tedious, but it's going to save you from forgetting it possibly. So we have 2x squared. Now I'm going to rewrite -x using those two numbers I circled. So I have plus 5x minus 6x minus 15. Lovely. Next step is factoring by grouping. So I'm going to keep that -2x cubed out there. I'll switch to brackets for the very outer parentheses. Now what's the GCF for 2x squared and 5x? Just x. So I'm going to take out an x, and then I have 2x plus 5 left over, and then make sure you bring down that negative. Now for 6x and 15, all I can take out is a 3. So I have -3 sitting out here, 2x And that's right, plus 5. You have to switch the sign there. How are things looking? Are we on track? What are you looking for again? That these factors match. Yes, they do. So now, when I write everything in factored form, I'm going to have 2x plus 5 times x minus 3 with that negative 2x cubed still sitting out front. All right? And now that is completely factored. So I hope this video was helpful. I'll go over more factoring cases in videos that are on their way. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.